Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia, and welcome to another episode of Pink Lemonade. This is my wonderful panel.
Hi, I'm Diamond.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
I'm Austin.
And ladies, it's time to drink pink. Now, this past Tuesday was International Women's Day.
Woo!
So happy International Women's Day, y'all. and this year's theme was gender parity. And basically what that means is that men and women should have equal pay, just equal socially, economically, politically, should be equal across the board, men and women. And right now, I think the U.S. is like really, really low on the panel. Hungary is like at a 5.3% in the gender wage gap. And so if we're below that, then we're like 13.3 or something like that. It's like,
We're at 18 actually.
oof, wow.
Yeah,
See?
I don't know if it's the country as a whole, but I do know that Tennessee specifically is 18%, and I think they said that was also the country's average. Funny thing about that, because right after on International Women's Day, our government refused a bill for the second year in a row to try to take measures to decrease that 18% pay gap. So they, I don't know the specific measures, but there were measures in there to be paid based on, educational status and things like that, instead of getting paid extra because you're a man. And our government actually, for Tennessee specifically, voted to not do that again.
I did hear that, and that's like the second time in a row.
Yeah, it's the second time in a row that they've done that, because they say a woman in some business was like, oh, it's not an issue. I can tell you right now that is an issue.
That is an
like,
issue.
Even my mother, I will talk to my mother, and she and I have discussions about how in her profession, she's a human resources manager of a small company, but she makes like a lot less than she should in her position. And my mom has been in her company for 15 years. Right. And so she and I have had tons of discussions about the fact that women are paid way less than men. I don't think that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, women can have the same educational level, come from the same socioeconomic class, and they're still paid 18% less than men.
Right.
I mean, that adds up over a lifetime. That to me is absolutely ridiculous.
I was gonna add, like, just because as a businesswoman, like, one thing that I always worry about as a woman is just like, if I, end up, if I leave university and get a job, I'm gonna have to work twice as hard to still get less pay. And it's like, do I really, because I was talking to one of my lecturers about this, and she was telling me how companies don't like hiring like women with families or women who want to have families because they just feel like they're a liability. And I was just like, do I really have to sacrifice my goals and dreams in life just so that I can get equal pay, where I could be married to somebody in the same position as me or even lower, getting paid more than I am, even though they're my husband, but because I'm a woman and a mother, they won't think to pay me like more. And I'm just like, why do women always have to sacrifice more to get the same benefits as men? Like, why can't we just have it all? Like, why do we have to sacrifice either our success or, like a family?
Yeah, I think part of that too has to do with the fact that if you've ever noticed a family that the woman makes more than the man always feels like less of a man because they make less than their wife, which I don't get.
I don't.
Because men are supposed to provide for the family, but you can provide in many other ways other than just financially. I mean, I just think that it's so unfortunate. I feel like that is kind of the driving force behind the fact that women get paid less, because men are like, oh, well, I don't want to feel inferior to women, so I'm going to pay them less. Which, I mean, we've made a ton of strides in Fortune 500 companies having women as CEOs, and that's fantastic, but there's still a huge problem of a pay gap.
Yeah.
And you start to think, like, where did this begin? Like, when did we become the bottom of the totem pole? Like,
I feel like it's been since the beginning of time.
Yeah, we've always been the bottom.
Women have always been seen lesser.
always on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like, but why? I've always just wondered, but why?
Yeah, I mean, we provide the babies and like.
And it's not just like the babies or the food. It's like, I think a woman, like a man, is her. Like, who you pick as a wife is who you will become. Not you will become your wife, but it's like your success matters. Like, we put so much effort, emotionally, physically, mentally into our men, and then we're still not seen as equal. But it's like, I'm doing all this work so that we can be great together. Why is he great and I'm not?
I mean, there's even a saying that goes behind every great man is like a strong woman. And so it's like, there's all these strong men, like all these, like first ladies is I think a great example of strong women who are often in the ears of their husbands, helping them make decisions, huge decisions, and they don't get any credit for it.
Yeah, Nancy Reagan, who just passed away recently, was a wonderful woman. She was very well known throughout the entire country, and Ronald Reagan is one of the most beloved. Her husband was one of the most beloved presidents of the United States. I mean, I think that speaks volumes about who they are. I mean, the opposite is true too. Hillary Clinton was Bill Clinton's wife, and Bill Clinton is seen as one of the worst presidents ever. How she is running for president, I don't know, but that's beside the point. We're not talking about politics. But, you know, I think it can go either way. If you've got a great woman behind you, you can be a serious driving force in your field. But if you have a bad woman behind you, it can be the exact opposite.
So, like, how come there's no saying or, like, nothing out there that says that a man should be behind the woman and push her to do great things?
Because I feel like it goes both ways. Because if you have like, say you have a boyfriend and your boyfriend, you know, is a bum, like you're not gonna get far in life because he's always gonna hold you back. But if you have somebody with the same mentality as you, you're gonna move forward. So I feel like it's a two-way thing in this thing. So it's just like, why they're not paying for the sacrifices that we're having to make together? Why do I have to pay just because I'm a woman?
Exactly. It's like we're doing everything that they do, but in heels and backwards.
Yeah. And twice as hard.
We have to look cute while we're doing it.
And twice as hard.
And so, twice as hard. So have y'all ever been in that position where y'all are in charge of the man?
What do you mean?
Like in any jobs that you've had, like, or volunteer, I mean, anything, anytime, relationships maybe?
Actually, it doesn't really have to do with pay, but it does have to do with, I feel like women, when they're in positions of power, they are often very criticized. And I worked at a local restaurant around here, and there was this older man who worked there, like 40 years old. When I was like training him, and when he introduced me to like a new coworker, he was like, yeah, that's Jasmine. She's mean as F. And everyone was just like, like, I'm not mean, I'm just doing my job, and I'm trying to train you effectively. And you're not listening. And so now I'm mean because you don't want to listen to me because I'm a girl.
Yeah, I feel like men have to have that defense mechanism of insulting us if we are in a position of power because they feel inferior. Just because we're teaching you or possibly bossing you around does not mean you're inferior.
It means we care.
I mean, we've taken it from you all forever, so you can handle it.
Exactly, and I think there's just inequality everywhere. So I feel like the theme of gender parity was so important to bring to the forefront. And they even had a pledge and a hashtag on Twitter, actually. It said pledge for parity, and men and women were encouraged to pledge that and pledge to fight for that. And some other inequalities I think Austin told me about.
The fact that now a woman can be taken to jail for giving her baby drugs that cause them harm afterwards. Which, I mean, that would never happen to a man, so that's an inequality. Like, if you're taking drugs when you're pregnant and it harms your child and they have to go through detox when they're born, a woman can be taken immediately to jail for that and essentially abandon her baby. I mean, I think that can be good and bad. There should be consequences if you are treating your baby that way. Absolutely. I mean, you know what you're doing to your baby. Everyone knows when you're pregnant. You read a, what to expect when you're expecting book, and don't drink alcohol, don't do drugs. Those are given. Don't smoke cigarettes. You're going to harm your baby. Right. Don't do cocaine and heroin. Obviously, you shouldn't do those anyway. But you especially shouldn't do them when you're pregnant. So I think it can be a good thing, but there's also the abandonment factor of the baby.
I also think that another problem that we have in America with drugs in general is that we spend so much time prosecuting people for drugs that people are scared to come forward and seek help. And so I feel like instead of punishing these mothers for doing drugs, it's better for them to treat both the mother and the baby so that the mother can be an active part of her child's life. You can get her off drugs instead of putting her in jail and putting her baby in foster system. And then when she gets out, she's probably just going to do the drugs again. And then the baby will just be another baby in a system of babies that have been taken away from their mother.
Yeah, a forced rehab facility might be better. I mean, that would be kind of like jail, but a rehab facility instead. So it's actually helping her. I mean, of course she is going to detox in jail, but a rehab facility is going to help her, not force her to detox.
It'll make it feel more like we're here to help you. Whereas when you're putting someone in jail, it's like, ugh, you made poor life choices, so we're taking your baby away from you and you're going away for a long time, okay? And that's kind of how I see it when I'm looking
I also
at that.
read somewhere where if somebody goes to jail, whilst you're in jail, they don't even look at your rehabilitation, or don't look at, you know, things that you've done to change who you was. They just look at the crime that you committed. So it's like, that's not even a safe environment to put a woman who is so self-destructive, because it could lead to other things.
Right. I mean, prisons can be harmful places for anyone. I mean,
Right.
it could be bad for her. They say child abusers of any kind are the lowest of the totem pole. Those mothers could be seen as child abusers because they are harming their children. And to be frank, honestly, a lot of those people are killed in prisons, and you don't want to have an abandoned baby. You want to help these mothers. Yes, they should get in some kind of trouble for what they did, because honestly, you know, that's not good to do to your baby. You know what you're doing. But I think they need help too.
Yeah, because I also have to think, like, if we're talking about crack and heroin, most of these mothers didn't get pregnant and then decide to start using these drugs.
Right.
So
They
you're
did before.
already not in the right mind. They probably got pregnant from not being in the right mind, from making unsafe choices and stuff like that. So I'm losing my train of thought a little bit. But you can't punish them for something that was already a circumstance in their life. Like, that's why I'm thinking that we should focus on treating them instead of, like, just like you said, throwing them away and just having this system of babies being taken away from their mothers and being ultimately abandoned.
Yeah, I mean, the foster care system in this country isn't that great.
I don't think
be
foster
completely
care in any
honest.
country.
You can find some wonderful foster parents. I know that some of my mom's friends, she works with someone, they're the Hoskins, and they fostered these two children, and they ended up adopting them, and they are wonderful, wonderful parents. They're such sweet people. But you don't always get a family like that. And what happens if you're placed in a family, you're taken away from a mother that, you know, got put in jail for crack cocaine, heroin, something like that, and you're placed in a family where the parents do crack cocaine and heroin. You know, I mean, you're basically being taken from one bad circumstance to another.
Exactly.
So you don't want those parents that you're not proud of or ashamed of, you know, ones that are on drugs. I mean, some people get those and they can become better people for it, but you know, you don't really want the parents like Kanye West and Kim K's babies. They're probably not going to be proud of their behavior when they're older.
Right.
You know, you want a mom more like Aisha Curry. You know, her little girl is the cutest thing ever, and she's probably going to be proud of her mom when she grows up, because her mom encourages modesty and, you know, saving her special parts for her honey, which I think is a lot better than Kim K just like putting it all out there.
I was also gonna say, like, kids watch a lot, because I have a baby sister, so it was like they mimic you more than you think. And
do.
I wouldn't want, like, I have a baby sister. If I was posting new selfies and all that nonsense, I wouldn't want her to look at me and think that's how I'm supposed to behave. I'm supposed to have my titties and stuff out into the world, and I want her to respect herself and know her worth and know that, like, you know, you have to work a little bit hard to get this.
Right. And I mean, Kim did retaliation to, you know, the retaliation against her nude selfie, and was like, I'm respecting myself, I'm empowered by this, but
She does this all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's an attention type thing, not
Like-
really like, oh, I'm empowered. She's just
Like, it's not like she did
yeah,
it. It's not like she did it once. Like,
But then
we're
when
so
Beyonce
used to
gets up
her.
there and she shakes her butt and she dances, she's like has choreography. Like people are like, oh my God, it's vulgar. And her hair is wet.
See, I
Like,
understand the argument that people are presenting that Kim Kardashian she's promoting that you should be comfortable in your own skin. I get that. But at the same time, there are other ways to be confident than just physically.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
at the end of the day, like, this like, it's not going to be forever.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have confidence in something other than your physical needs.
And it's like, you can still have, like, I'm so confident in myself. I wouldn't want to be posting my news everywhere. Like, it doesn't mean that just because I'm not putting it out there that I don't love myself and I don't love my body. Yes, I love my body, but because I love my body so much, I respect it that much more.
Yeah, you want to listen to people who are like, yeah, I'm proud of my body, but you don't get to see
You don't
it.
get to
It's
see
not
it.
your
You
body.
don't.
Your body is
Exactly.
a gift. Like,
Yeah, exactly. When-
Especially if you have a banging body.
But I just don't feel like, I mean, Kim K, you know, people say she's one of like the sexy women of today because she's
Right.
very curvy. And to me, like, if I were a guy, I would find it more attractive if she covered up.
Yeah.
Like, she's putting it out everywhere. I mean, essentially what she
Yeah.
did is soft porn.
And you're
That's
you're
not
married.
okay.
Like, only your husband is supposed to see you naked.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
he's
supposed to
like,
marriage. That's,
yeah.
That's one of the things that marriage was made
Yeah.
for. You share that with that one person and that one person only.
Like, everybody else, everybody in the world knows what you look like. If I was Kanye, I would be so upset.
I mean, it already
he
happened with the
promotes it.
sex tape
Let's not go there.
Did I hit a nerve? Did I hit a nerve? Okay, I'm sorry. But you know, she already kind of did the softball in a way.
Hardcore.
But you know, anyway.
But
that
in
wasn't
her
very
defense, that wasn't up to her. So
Well,
Okay.
when you make those
Allegedly.
things,
Allegedly.
those things and you're famous, they're bound to.
I will say, I would have viewed this very differently if she had put it like, maybe she was on the cover of a magazine and she was like promoting some image or like
Right.
some message like, I don't care what people say about my body, I accept it and it's beautiful. And
And
she
you're like-
posted a picture and she was like, I have nothing to wear.
Yeah,
Right, in her bathroom. Like, you know you did that on
You
purpose.
did that
Don't
for a
act like.
reason.
And I think
Fast track.
Chloe did a PETA campaign where she was naked, but she wore like fur on.
But her
and it was
campaign had
class,
purpose.
and it was a purpose, and it was tastefully done. You weren't like, oh my God, Chloe's naked on the billboard. It was for PETA, and she was in fur, and she was classy, and she was.
Yeah, I think sometimes, I mean, I'm never big on, showing.
yeah, that was I was quiet.
I'm never really a supporter of that. If it's for a great cause, maybe I can be
Right.
like, okay. But I'm never really a big, like, yes, she was nude for this reason, that's great.
You can still
Like, you
do a
can't-
campaign and have
Yeah,
your
you
clothes
can
on.
still be like, I love my body, fully clothed, where no one can see
Right.
it.
And I actually saw a meme last night. It was of Sharon Osbourne, and she had a nude, and it was comparing how she was saying she took a picture of herself nude, and she was like, Kim K, you inspired me. I feel empowered and whatnot. And then they referenced back to when Nicki Minaj
Yeah,
put out her
and then she
album
called
for
Nicki
Anaconda,
a hoe.
and she was like,
She
it
called
looked
her a
like
hoe
a
or
cheap
something.
porno
Yeah.
mag.
I was just
And
like,
now she's posing naked saying, oh, Kim K is the greatest for doing this, you know? So I think a lot of colorism maybe plays in, a lot of racial.
I agree because honestly, for Kim's
Inequality
body
plays in
shape,
that.
I feel like if I was a similar shape, I'd probably be ridiculed for it.
I think so too. And I think it's just kind of the evolution of how we want our bodies to look. Because I feel like years back when I was younger, you had to be straight up and down, size 00 or nothing.
Yes.
And size,
Not for us.
and size 4,
You were living
yeah.
that life.
A size 4 was fat, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you're fatter than that, oh my gosh, please stay away from me. You're gonna get grease on me. Like, okay, sorry. But, you know what I'm saying?
Agree.
It's just like the evolution of that. And we always see like people like Sarah, what's her last name? She was darker skinned. She had very curvy bust, bottom, hips. And she was paraded around.
Sarah Bartman. That's
She
it.
was paraded around.
time ago.
And yeah, a long time ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
And they basically experimented on her body because she had the typical black woman body with the big thighs and bum and big boobs.
And so she was a
And they-
circus.
Yeah, she was a circus freak at those times in France.
Yeah, because of her body. And now that's what we want. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's why Kim K and her whole family, I love Chloe though, but you know, her whole family wants the big butts and the small
I like
waist
Courtney.
and the waist trainers and you know, there was corsets back in the day to make your waist uber small.
You
and
just want that hourglass figure. That's what's become.
And it's like an
big.
extreme hourglass. It's
But I
kinda
feel like you can
going
still
a
have
lot.
an hourglass figure with your own natural body.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
that.
nothing wrong.
Yeah, and I think that their whole family, they're very into like fitness now. Doesn't Chloe have some kind of fitness?
She is fitness.
She's
program?
lost so much weight.
Yeah,
She has. She looks fabulous, to be honest. But
she looks so good.
she does look good.
Like that,
Yeah, she's
that
very
magazine
pretty.
cover when she was working out. I was like, ah, Chloe.
Yeah, she's very pretty. I think they're all beautiful girls, but it's sad to see that people who are so prevalent in the media are like, I had to get plastic surgery to look like this. You should too.
Right.
I wish that people in the media would be like, this is how I look. This is how it is. Just accept me the way that I am.
And you can work out too, like, and get the body
Right.
that you want with working out.
Yeah,
You just have to be
for sure.
patient. It's gonna like what people feel like working out is such a chore, but it's like it changes your life, changes your lifestyle, your mentality, everything. It's like you can actually do it.
And it's safer and cheaper than going under the knife.
Exactly. I just think I do like Chloe because she does promote exercise and
Right.
things like that.
And
She's
fitness
not like,
and body
I just went and got
love, yeah.
liposuction or Kim K, who knows how she got that freaky hourglass figure she's got. It's like, when she wears tight stuff, it scares me.
She's changed so
She's
much
so
in like
tiny.
the last
It's just
2
like,
years.
whew.
Especially with the nude, I think it really emphasized it when she put out that nude.
Her body doesn't look real.
There was
Right.
one dress that she wore that was like skin tight, and I was like, "You're not natural. You had to do something there." Like, I just wish that they would promote, because I mean, young women look to them.
They have
Everyone
little
knows
girls
Keeping
looking
Up
up
with
to
the
them.
Kardashians.
Right.
I wish they would represent something more like what Chloe is,
Or like
not to be
Aisha
healthy.
Curry.
Or Aisha Curry.
I
Be
think
modest.
Be
Modest
modest.
is sexy. I mean, she got a lot of attention on Twitter from guys being like, she's now my ideal wife
Right.
because she's modest. That's
We want an
And I
Aisha
feel
Curry.
like when
Right.
people think of modest, they think like long dress, long skirt. But it's like you can be modest to what suits you
Tasteful.
naturally,
Tasteful
tastefully.
is the word. Tasteful,
Yeah,
I think.
Tasteful is a great
Maybe
word
modest.
because you show enough to have interest to look good,
Right.
but you keep all the goods covered up.
Yeah, keep it like a little secret.
A little
Like
secret.
it's a
yeah.
mystery. You gotta open the treasure box. Okay, I think we're getting a little too wrong. So let's switch to another topic. Let's keep it moving.
Okay.
So one thing that they also talked about on Twitter when I was going through my feed about Aisha Curry, who I definitely respect, by the way, they were saying that we are just emphasizing Aisha in particular because she's light-skinned, she has green eyes, she has straight hair. Her children look almost the same as she does, and they were saying that there are a lot of other wives in NBA, NFL, any sports team who has wives who are modest, who act as a good role model for all women out there, and maybe they just don't put their opinion out as much as maybe Aisha did.
I think, and that's what it is then.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people can't see that. It's not that we're picking Aisha because she's light-skinned.
Right.
She's the only one who's spoken out about it. She's the only one who takes the time out of her day to write like whole articles and on Twitter and stuff about how she feels. If that's what she's doing, then she deserves the recognition. But we're not going to recognize you if you're not talking about it.
Yeah, people are going to turn anything into a light skin, dark skin, white, black kind of thing. It's like, no, she was putting her opinion out there. The other thing is, honestly, Steph Curry's in the media a lot right now. So of course his wife is going to be in the media a lot. Maybe there's another basketball wife
And
that
Riley
her
was
husband
like-
is.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and Riley like completely invaded his press release. So I know I was talking about Riley a little bit, and then she just had a baby. And, you know, their family is just in the media
And
a
then,
lot
like,
right now.
Honestly, the only other knowledge that I have of other basketball wives is the show, Basketball
Well,
Wives. And from that show, come on now, that does not breed modesty or anything like that at
no
all.
modesty.
So I don't understand why everyone is such in an uproar talking about like, oh, you guys are just picking her because of this. I think people just like to be offended.
And I think
They can be offended by the littlest thing.
Right. I think Aisha, she either tweeted or she posted on Instagram saying something like, when did walking outside, like unmodestly, this is not verbatim, but when did walking outside, like with everything showing, become like the norm? And Nina Westbrook actually retweeted that. And Nina is darker skinned. She is thin, but that's besides the point. But she's darker skinned, you know, very beautiful, wife of Russell Westbrook, who is also in the media really prominently now. So, I mean, there are other wives who are darker skinned that are getting recognition as well.
So
Yeah, it's nothing about skin. It's just if she was white and saying the same thing, people would turn it to a white versus black type thing. She's just the person that's in the media the most that said it.
And it's not even like the fact that she's in the media the most, it's just because she puts her opinion out there. So it's like, if you're not speaking out, then there's nothing that we can agree or disagree about. But she's speaking out, she's speaking her opinion. So people are going to pay attention to her because she is speaking about things that are relevant in society.
So I actually saw an article that had to do with the Aisha Curry thing, and they were saying, they were kind of attacking her a little bit and saying that she is attacking women who do like to show a little bit more of their skin. And they're like, what's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with wanting to, you know, wear the crop top and the booty shorts if that's what you want and like you're not doing it for attention? And they were saying that her tweets were kind of putting women down. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think so. If
don't
I
think
want to
so
wear
at
my
all.
booty shorts, I'll wear my booty shorts.
Yeah, I think she's not. she's not putting anyone down.
No.
She's just saying,
Her
you know,
opinion.
modesty is
the best
sexiest.
right?
You know?
And I think
modesty is sexy.
And it's true because men do agree with that. Like a guy is going to want you more if you respect yourself and you show that you respect yourself. He's not going to want you more because you're giving him everything.
It's all about the chase.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, girl.
if I
Yes,
said
it is.
open, yeah, it's a mystery.
You need to
Open
stop
up the
doing
chest.
that.
Open it. I wish I'd have rapped. But another hot topic that is going on in the media right now, in regards to colorism, is the Zoe Saldana being. Yes, I know. I want to get to this. Zoe Saldana wanting to play Nina Simone in her new biopic. Which she is.
Yeah.
The trailer has come out.
Yeah.
And so it's no longer just like we're talking about it. It's like it's happening, and they're filming. And I've seen pictures of her transformation. She has wider nose. She has darker skin. She has fuller hips. She has kinkier hair.
You know, someone in my class made a very good point. Not only is she like in a form of blackface, it's not even really good. Like they really did a much better job making her
better
browner.
job.
Like,
But my thing with this is, okay, I know she's not the same skin type as Nina, but it's like she could have still, as a black woman, stand your right. Like understand what is going on. If I went to audition for something and they were like, oh, we're gonna make you lighter and, you know, make your nose a bit wide, I'll just be like, but I'm black.
Right.
You know, I can't play.
Yeah.
You know, why do you feel the need to do that? And I would give it to somebody else who probably fit the role better. I wouldn't just want to do it because Nina Simone is like this big, you know, legacy. Like respect her legacy enough to
Respect her.
Yeah, and Nina was about black empowerment and black women and keeping yourself the way you are. So for you to play her and then be in blackface and have a fake nose and fake hair, girl.
especially when there are actresses out there that are deserving, not even saying that Zoe Saldana is deserving of the role or not deserving, but that fit the part with very little altercations to their bodies being done.
Well, what if she's the best actress, though? What if she
But
was
she
the best
did-
actress to play the part? I mean, we don't...
My thing with her is the whole black face.
The black face. Yeah, it's not a
'cause
problem of her being
it's not. She could have
casted.
played Nina. She was the best. It's just the black face because it just it's such a big historical thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
She's
it's
very
so
influential.
racist.
But people all the time change their appearance for a role. I mean, there was a picture a few months ago of one of the Hemsworth brothers. He had to lose like some crazy amount of weight to play a role because he had to be really skinny. I mean, people alter their appearance all the time.
But that's
It's just-
different.
I think just being, it's a biopic of Nina Simone,
A
who
real
was
person.
a real person, right? Who is very pro-black, I have a wide nose, I have kinky hair, I have a big, big hips, I have big butt, and I'm comfortable in that, and I love myself because of it, and you should join me.
A thing about Zoe Saldana, I read a whole article because she responded to like the criticism. She doesn't identify as black. Like most Afro-Latinas don't, like in Latin America, the black-white thing isn't as much of a thing as it is here. So she doesn't identify as that. And another thing that she was saying was like, my race doesn't define me at all. Like I don't wake up in the morning and think about like being black because it doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter. But for Nina Simone, it mattered to her.
And it matters to
there
black people because we wake up every day thinking like, am I gonna live today? You know?
And then the way that Hollywood casts is Zoe Saldana maybe was the best, but the way that like Hollywood directors go is they don't even really do auditions anymore. They just contact the agents of the most popular people that they know are already famous, which is why we see the same people in different roles every time. There's been like so many like of the same people playing in multiple movies when I know that there are people, black and white and Hispanic or whatever, trying to work and be actors, but the directors are just contacting the agents of the people who are already popular.
I also read like a post about, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she's also an actress, comedian, Ada Rodriguez, and she kind of like was talking about this whole, because she doesn't agree with Zoe playing Nina, because she was just like, she was talking about how Latin Americans have their own history, their own food, and she was just pointing the fact that Zoe's a lighter skin model, like it's easy for her as a lighter skinned woman to get jobs, whereas it's harder for darker skinned women, obviously, in the media industry to get jobs. And she was just talking about how she disagrees with Zoe because she's not African American, and she believed that an African American woman would have been better off because she would have understood the struggle a bit more because that was their struggle. This is not Zoe's struggle because she doesn't understand the struggles that Nina went through.
And there are plenty of
Especially if she doesn't identify as
yeah,
being
like
black.
how you know Emmanuel, you're from Afro.
Yeah, but like, is any person in the media? I mean, we've talked before. A lot of people talked before about Beyonce. She doesn't know the struggles of a black person because she's a rich black person, so she doesn't know the real struggles.
I've never heard that.
she knows the struggle.
She knows. Jay-Z knows the struggle.
Jay-Z
She
knows
knows.
If anyone,
Everyone with darker skin knows some
Even
sort
if you
of
haven't
struggle.
experienced it, because I haven't
even
experienced
if-
police brutality, I haven't experienced being searched and stopped and searched. I haven't experienced a lot of things that African Americans would have experienced. But just being a black person, it's like it's your struggle because that's your community, and that could be me.
Right.
Do you understand? That person who got shot, that could be me. That could be my brother. That could be my
Exactly.
cousin. That could be my son in the future. That could be me. So it's like you have to identify the struggle because the struggle is yours, even if you haven't personally experienced it.
Yeah.
So your guys is, just so I'm clear, your guys' problem with her is not that she's like transforming herself because she's black, but simply just because Nina was such a like pro-black person, you think a black person should have played her.
And yeah, there are other options
like Viola Davis, India Arie,
Uzo
Viola
Aduba,
Davis.
and Uzo
There are,
Aduba. They
there are
put
so
them.
many darker skinned women, like
Yeah.
even that, what's that girl? I don't know her name.
Lupita.
From where?
Yeah,
Oh,
like there are so
Lupita.
much darker
Yeah,
skinned
girl, I
women,
think
and
it's
I feel
beautiful skin in
like
the entire world.
and I feel
Side
like
note.
the media industry, they don't pick dark skinned women a lot. Like
There's
they're like
always
the
not enough.
token in movies.
Yeah.
You know how there's always like token black person, Asian person in movies. Like, I feel like dark skinned women are that too. So it's just for me, it's like to pick Zoe when there's great actresses out there. It's wrong because the guy who played Nina's boyfriend, husband, whatever his name is. Like that David Omoolawo guy, like he is dark skinned, so why couldn't you pick a dark skinned woman?
And I believe that Nina's ex-husband was lighter skinned, I believe. So they kind of switched around. I don't know what's happening, but I think the moral of our show is be positive, be body positive.
Yeah.
You're beautiful, no matter what you think. So we just want to, I guess we're going to close. Does anyone have anything else to say? Like any closing remarks? No, we want to thank you so much for tuning in with us, and please comment below on any of the topics that we talked about today, and we would love to hear your feedback. And we bring you the news from No Tea, No Shade, and a whole lot of pink lemonade. See you next time, guys. Bye.